And we're live. What should I call you, by the way? Like Xavier?
Xavier.
Xavier.
But you can call me anyway.
Okay, from Brazil, right?
Yes, from Brazil, from the northeast of Brazil,
Mm,
exactly.
damn.
Not the main city like São Paulo or Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah. So you're like from the outback in Brazil, from like the rural part. Um,
No, not really.
like
Yeah, in my state there is this part, but where I live is in the coast, so it's more a tourist city. You know,
okay, okay.
no,
Um,
it's we call this part of the country the Brazilian Caribbean. I don't know if you know Caribbean, I think, maybe in English.
yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that's cool, man. And it's the largest country in South America, right?
Yes, the largest. Should be bigger, but with the time, some countries get independent, like Uruguay and others. I think only Uruguay, I think.
Wow. Like what has me baffled is that Brazil is the only country in in Latin and South America that speaks Portuguese.
Yes, exactly. The every country here speaks Spanish, but there is a few countries that normally people never heard about it, but they speak Dutch
They speak
and
Dutch.
yes, Dutch. Suriname, I think, is the name of the country, and there is another country which speak French.
Like for like its official language.
Yes, official language is like how can I say? It's like a modern colony of those countries. You see, it's
Ah,
like a piece of land of Holland and a piece of land of France in South America. If something happens in the world, they have a piece of land to make a military base and everything. You see, like.
okay. I see. I see.
Mhm.
Um, well, like how do you experience living in Brazil?
In Brazil, can I be very honest with you? You live in Norway, right? Norway, I think.
Yeah, no,
That?
I am from Norway, yes, but I live
Ah,
in Denmark.
in Denmark. Okay. So let's say we have a saying here. I will take an example as Germany.
Yeah,
We say like this: live in Brazil is like living in the hard mode.
in the
You know,
hard
you
mode.
have in the hard mode.
Yeah.
Like you have to make you have to make everything to goes right. You have to, how can I say, to work on it. We
Yeah.
say that, for example, someone who lives in Germany, it's just an example, it could be any other country, their life is, they can live in the automatic mode. Your life only goes wrong if you really want. You see, like if you choose to go wrong. Here is different. This is my experience, being honest. Like it's like you need to. Of course, everyone everywhere needs to work for their lives to make to good things happen. But in Brazil, it's like twice. You make to do it twice.
All
Yeah,
right.
of course, there is this country that even harder than Brazil. I'm
Okay.
sure,
So
but
so you're saying that if you wanted the same things as the average person in Germany who works like a normal job, 8 hours a day, you would need to work 16 hours a day to achieve the
yes.
same things.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. That's it. For example, I saw one ticket, a plane ticket. This is a very useless example, but it happened. I saw a ticket from somewhere. I think it was from Holland to Germany or some country like this for 100 euros. I
Yeah.
think I think it was that. 100 euros. I don't know how much someone there in Denmark or in Germany, how much they get normally, the average by the month. But I suppose it's more than 2,000 euros, I think. I don't know. The average.
Yeah. A month. Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
like
it's a month.
a little. That would be a little less than average in Germany, but yeah.
Okay, that's the point. So it was 100 euros, this ticket, okay, to go to Holland to Germany. In Brazil, the average salary, more than half of the country live with 1,000 reais, our coin. And
Yeah.
a ticket to go, for example, to my state, to São Paulo, is 700 reais. You see? So it's like, makes things harder
Yeah,
to happen.
it almost seems unachievable.
Yes.
But I don't know like why that is. Like why is the consume price index so messed up? Like for instance, is it also like expensive to go to a grocery store and get the food that you need?
Food, yes, food. But I think I know. I never lived in Europe, but I think that food is different here. Maybe it's cheaper. I
Yeah.
mean, you can buy more things because Brazil is huge, so there is a lot of different foods, fruits, and everything. So I think it's easier to buy food here. But of course, with the salary, with the average salary, make it hard. But I mean, the same thing here and there. I think there is expensive. It's more expensive. The food, for
Yeah.
example, mango. I don't know if you ever ate a mango
No, yeah,
before.
eat the mango, yeah.
I said, okay, like things like that. Here it's cheap. That's true.
Yeah.
Because we have just that. But the technology and, for example, automobiles and things, it's like 10 times more expensive than in Denmark for sure. Not in Denmark, because I was reading about Denmark months ago, and it's very expensive as well in Denmark, the taxes.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't know if in Denmark is the same.
Nah, like I don't know. I don't know. Like I think like it's pretty balanced in Western Europe because you could like say that for instance in Norway the salaries are high and the taxes are low, but then there is other things that compensate for that, like that it is super expensive for food, that you pay toll booth money to drive on the roads and things like this. Like it levels up at some point.
I see.
So I'm not sure. And I think like the same goes for like pretty much like all of Europe. If you like compare it like with wages and what things cost and stuff, then it's leveled pretty much. Well,
Yes, but I was, for example, I was looking about a price of a product from Apple. I don't know what product, but it in Ukraine, which
Yeah.
is not the most rich country in Europe. And in Ukraine, the same thing was, if I remember right, was 30,000 their coin there,
yeah,
this thing. And the same product here in Brazil was 6,000 with their coin. So even in Ukraine, which doesn't have such a strong economy, it seems things there is even cheaper than here
yeah.
in Brazil.
And Brazil, like like to me, like it makes zero sense because Brazil has a strong economy. Yes, also considering it is part of the BRIC countries, which is supposedly going to be like like the next leading economical superpowers in the world, and it stands for Brazil, Russia, India, and China.
Yeah, we always say that, but when you see the country, it doesn't correspond, with this money that Brazil has,
Yeah,
this economy, because there's a lot of how can I say? It's not equal to
Okay,
everyone, you
it's
know.
not balanced. Okay.
For example, I think in Denmark maybe you have class A, class B, class C, maybe I don't know, right?
Nah,
Like,
like no, like I'm no. Again, like it's way more leveled. Uh, because like I don't see it like an upper class or middle class or lower class in Denmark. It's definitely no lower class. It's like upper middle class and upper class maybe. But
oh,
mostly it's the same, you know.
I see. I see. Here we have like I don't know, like five types
Five
of class. You know,
classes.
like A, B, C, D, A. There is like poor going down, poor, extremely poor.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And there is like there's poor and high. There is like middle poor guy,
Whoa.
and then there is like the middle class.
Like,
The middle class is the biggest in Brazil,
yeah.
but it's like mainly they are public employees,
Yeah.
because here the state pays better than the private business.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's why things are too expensive as well here, because we need to pay a lot of money for public
Man,
employees
you're
here.
you're you're scaring the living hell out of me, man. So so like
Why?
you're because like you're basically saying that like my country is crap, my country is crap, and there is several levels of being poor.
Yes, yes, man, it's crazy. But you know what is funny? That the extremely poor guy, he lives in a not in a house. You can call a house. It's like
An apartment.
5 meters made of wood and plastic. Like those kind of not a wood as in the USA, those houses, but made of, you understand, like
Yeah.
favelas. I think you ever
Oh
see a
shit.
favela.
Favela. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So that guy is extremely poor, but he has a cell phone, a smartphone. It makes no sense. It's
How come he got a cell phone? Okay, he's an iPhone and lives in the favela.
no, not iPhone. Phone's too much. I can say, but Samsung, maybe a Samsung for sure. They have a Samsung or no, but iPhone's too much. But they have. This is the kind of things that people, when they see it, they
Oh
stay
shit,
shocked.
man.
Because they say, "How you don't have money to buy food, but you have a cell phone? How?" Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but that's the same thing that you would like see in the news when it was like all those refugees from the Middle East and Syria, coming to Europe. Then almost like all of them had like iPhones and smartphones.
Yeah,
Right, right.
I wasn't expecting for that. For
No. But this was explained later though that Syria in no way was a poor country before it got tarnished and destroyed by these wars and crap like that. But instead, like like that, it was rich, it was prosperous, and people had good jobs
yeah,
and high level jobs and stuff. So this is supposedly why they came to Europe with their smartphones.
I see. Yeah,
Right.
it's crazy.
But
You remember
yeah,
in Brazil? You are from Norway. I'm pretty sure you know this. There was that rampage in an island. A guy killed a lot of kids. I don't know if you remember this
yeah,
thing. I
yeah,
think.
I remember it.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And he said something about Brazil in his speech. That you remember this?
No, I don't remember.
Because
What did he say?
yes, I remember what he said because it was about Brazil, and I read it. It was on the news here. Like what he was saying, that he said that because of multiculturalism and this kind of things happen, and he was afraid that Norway would become another Brazil. You know, it was not a good thing to say.
He actually said that?
A psychopath killing people, saying that I'm killing those kids,
Wow.
because I don't want that my country become a Brazil. What?
Wow.
You know, like, I remember that it
That's
was really
crazy.
strong for me.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
I really didn't
crazy.
say.
You know, like I don't want my country to turn out like Brazil, so that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm
Yeah,
actually
no,
sitting today to be a mass murderer.
yeah, you know, imagine for me as a Brazilian, because I was watching the news. Okay, I thought, oh, another psychopath.
Yeah.
But then suddenly he says, oh, I'm killing because I don't want that my country become a Brazil. I said, what? What could this guy say?
What?
Oh no,
Oh,
no,
man.
not good.
That's crazy. But yeah, that guy is like for sure a psychopath. You know, like they are moving him between two prisons regularly because it is too much for the guards to like have the same detail on him, because again, he's a fucking psychopath, and he will be like nice one day to you and be like, oh, thank you so much, and so on, and then the next day he will like treat you like shit, ignore you, come for words, whatever.
But by the way, did you know what was? I don't remember what was his sentence.
I
What?
will you know, like I gotta like look it up now and see what his sentence was. But you're sure that he mentioned your country?
For sure, 100% sure. I remember. See, it happened a long time ago,
Yeah.
and I remember till today this. I can't
Wow.
deny it. The first thing when I see Norway, I remember this case and he's saying about Brazil. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Wow, that is crazy. Uh, Let me see, man. We can't. Okay, so apparently he was calling Brazil a dysfunctional country.
yeah, you see?
What?
Because multiculturalism and things. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
I need to find the complete sentence. Okay. After Brazilian Marxist revolution, Brazil has become a mix of races, which has turned into a catastrophe for the country, forcing it to join the ranks of the second world with a very low rate of social cohesion. Wow.
Yeah, I remember all this. Yeah, I remember.
And
Yeah.
as a consequence of this mix of races, corruption levels are very high, productivity extremely low, and there is an ongoing conflicts among the different cultures. Wow.
You see?
Yeah. Man, I don't remember that at all. You know, but
Yeah.
then again, like I was really young when this happened. I was like 20 or so.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Wow. I had no idea that but I knew that he was blaming everything like on multiculturalism, and that he didn't want more immigrants into Norway and blah blah blah. But he also said, like, you know, like took in Sweden and this impact of what he said, and said some things like, you know, like that he didn't want Norway to turn into Sweden, right? And like,
Yeah.
if you don't know, like what's happened with Sweden is that they have taken in a lot of immigrants throughout the years, right?
I see videos, man,
Yeah.
from the street of Sweden.
Yeah.
Have things happening that happens in here in Brazil. See, things that I wouldn't expect to see.
No, in Sweden with like bombs and machine guns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, like I am assuming that it has to be like the same in Brazil, because it's confined to certain districts, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably like the same in Brazil, you know, like the gang violence and these kinds of things are like happening in certain districts in Brazil.
Yeah, mainly, it is true, but it's national. I can deny it. The violence is national. everywhere in the country. If it's a capital, okay, if you live in a town with 10,000 people far away from the capital, okay, maybe it's not. There is many cities like this that more than 10 years there was no killing, nothing. You see, yeah, there is. But capitals, no. Every capital and all the cities next to capital, and this violence is spreading, going to these cities with 10,000 people. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. But you said organized crime, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that it was, and I thought it would have been like more confined to Sao Paulo
Yes, there
and Rio
exactly.
de Janeiro.
Yes,
Yeah,
the biggest organized crime is from São Paulo. It's called PCC.
yeah,
It's not the Communist Party of China, but it's the because here it's called PCC as well.
yeah,
And there they, how can I say, they control the crime. I mean, literally the crime. Like for example, there was in the south a heist in a bank where they stole like $3 million. Like, you ever played Payday?
yeah, yeah.
Like
But
Payday?
I think I read about this. Didn't they dig like a tunnel under the bank?
This was another one.
This was another
I'm
one.
talking about alright. Yes.
Yeah,
No, this one, man. I can. Okay, it's bad to rob, of course, but this one was classic. Was like more La Casa de Papel, from Netflix.
yeah,
Then yes, this one was classic. No one shot, no one. It was going under the bank, like in the movies.
yeah. Very clean.
But
Yeah,
but this one that I'm talking about, it was like a Payday. Like they go to the city like 20 cars,
oh, holy
and
shit.
they block the city. They make everyone as a hostage. Of course, no one leaves the house because normally they do this at night, at midnight or
Yeah,
when
yeah,
people
yeah,
are
yeah.
sleeping. And that's it, man. They had bazookas. They had everything in the like an army. They aren't normal gangsters, like from the street. Those stupid gangsters from the street. Oh yeah, man. No, they are like professional. If you see one of them in their normal suite on the street, you don't recognize him. Maybe he's a doctor and you don't know.
Yeah.
Like something like this. They aren't someone from poverty. Like yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This is
That's
for
crazy.
But
That's
I'm not.
crazy.
It's sad talk every time talk about Brazil because normally people only knows about those bad things you see about Brazil, but there is good things in Brazil for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yes, the violence.
But
Yes, the violence is the worst.
I'm like questioning, like, like if it is that dangerous and with the violence and all that, then how can it be that Brazil is such a large tourist mecca? Because you can't
Yeah,
deny that Brazil has always been like a magnet for tourists.
and it is mainly here where I live. Like
Yeah.
if for example you're from Europe, please, because it's like this. Someone from Europe, they want to travel to Brazil. What they know about Brazil? São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro. That's it.
Yeah,
And,
that's it.
yeah, and this is the worst place to
Yeah.
go because Rio de Janeiro is like Rio de Janeiro is the stereotype of the crime. For example, you are a tourist, you left there in the airport, you take a car, and I don't know, maybe you have Waze on your phone. So you say, oh, I want to go to my hotel. And you just put there in the Waze. And you, as a tourist, you go driving, right? Around, following. But the problem is, Rio de Janeiro is really, really a crime city. Like it's the worst city ever. Because you can drive into a street where the organized crime commands there. So no police go there, no one's go there. So if you are a strange car that they never see before, they never saw this car before, they don't know the plate of the car. and you are going into those streets, you got killed. Like
Wow, that's crazy.
mainly Italians. I don't know why, but Italians does that a lot here.
Okay.
Always there is some
So,
Italian guy.
so Italians are like the tourists most likely to end up either kidnapped or killed.
No, it's I don't know if it's a coincidence or any, but it is. Normally, when I see on the news, it's always Italian that he took his car and he was driving around Rio de Janeiro without asking a
Oh,
guide to say, "Oh, you can only go for this street. If you go to that street, you are in the organized crime." So there, no one goes. Only people who lives there, and they know the people who lives there, so they allow the people. You see, it's
I see,
crazy.
I
It's
see,
like
I see.
it's like the state has no power
Yeah.
in these neighborhoods. No power. When the state wants to go there, man, they make a huge operation. Like it's not like one car going. It's like 50 cars of police, helicopters, like the army, everything. And when they go, it's war, literal war. Like like war. It's not like two guys in the street shouting, chat, chat. No, it's like a war with snipers and a lot of things in the hills.
That's completely insane, man.
It is. My advice for you: never go to Rio de Janeiro or São Paulo, but
Okay.
you can go to other place in Brazil which is not so bad, with not so much violence.
Yeah.
By the way, it's where I live. So here, it's like very good place to travel,
But you
'cause-
also have like a large part of the Amazon, right? Um,
yes,
so,
with
so it's probably also possible to go on like guided tours and stuff in the Amazon, and I wouldn't imagine that upriver there will be a lot of crime, but maybe there is coke.
there is, man.
Yeah.
There is cases that I don't even to talk of because look about okay, we are talking about violence, okay, about crimes, which makes me angry so much with this country. It's because and I will explain why, but I will give the answer. It's because we are too lenient. Is there such a word in English? We are
Lenient,
how can I say lenient with with those killers, with bandits in general. Well, I'm not an expert in politics like this guy there. It seems the psychopath. He was talking about Marxism, blah 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 blah. But Brazil was always a left country, the view of the people, not because people want to be. It's like a brainwash. The state, the politicians, they say, look, Brazil has a very big problem, and only the state can solve that problem. So please vote in me,
Okay.
Socialist Party. This was always, since always, it happened, and it's changing now. The last election,
Like
it changed.
I don't have the impression that your president is doing a good job, or is that wrong?
No, he's not doing a good job, for sure. He's not. But he's not doing a good job, and I can say, me as a Brazilian, the reasons is different from what media says. What I'm saying, of course, he does a lot of shit. He's in the media, and it's very right to be there, and the media saying. But the media, because here in Brazil, man, I don't know the media there in Europe, but the journalists here, it's true, they are all have a left view of life. It's always, since always like this. They elected the best politician, and it's always a socialist, always.
Okay, and
The journalists.
when you're saying left view, are you like meaning liberal, like they're very tolerant, or
I
in
meant,
the other
I meant
direction?
I'm saying not liberals, because liberals in the Americans, at least they pretend not to be socialist.
Yeah.
Here, they clearly say they are socialists. They don't pretend to be liberal, no? Like I mean, I am a socialist. Liberal here, we only use that word for classic liberals. So when you say someone is liberal in Brazil, he's a classic liberal, not a liberal in the USA. It's a mess. I don't know
Okay. Okay.
if you if you can understand. But by the way, his problems is he talks too much, he does nothing. He's that kind of president. He likes to go to the microphone and say like, "I will end with the corruption," blah 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 blah. But he protects his sons, which is politicians, which is involved in corruption, and he protects it. Of
Yeah.
course, okay, there is no accusation on him, on the president, but his sons, he got 3 sons, all politicians, and all of them is involved with corruption, you see? So it is strange to see that all the family is in corruption, less the father. No, the father is very strange, you know? It's like,
Well, I would assume that then he would be too, right? If like,
yeah, he
I'm
is.
sorry, yeah.
But tell me, you, when you said that he's not a good president, why you said that?
Well, like that's only going out from like what I read in the newspapers and so on. With that, for one, he was first ignoring the coronavirus, right?
True.
And
This
and
is true.
and almost
This
like
is true.
almost forcing shopkeepers in Brazil, that you're going to keep open and no need to shut
Yes.
down and so on, right?
Yes,
Which
that's true.
which in my personal opinion was like, what the fuck?
Yes, that is very true.
Like some desperate attempt. Like either this guy, then I felt like either this guy is like batshit crazy, ignoring that there is a lethal virus out there that infects very easily, or he is desperate to keep the Brazilian machinery running. Meaning like running in order to get tax revenue into the government box.
True. That's true. That's the whole point. As I think not just him, I think many politicians have done that around the world, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
Well,
but
Sweden did this something similar, but they didn't ignore it. But at the beginning of the crisis, they were also like keeping everything open, and they didn't shut anything down. But that was a kind of like a sleazy way of doing it because they turned the responsibility over to the people and said, like this is a collective responsibility. So if you're a shopkeeper, you know best if you want to keep your shop open or close it, right? Which is also like a terrible idea because anybody with a bar or a hair salon will keep open because he wants the money.
yes, that Bolsonaro want that. He wanted the machine working.
Yeah,
He wants
yeah.
money. That's the whole point. That's why he was ignoring. That's true. But now he can't ignore anymore, right? Because Brazil is the second in the world with the most case, only only behind of USA.
Yeah.
But now he can't. But it's true. Okay, this point is true. But was just that? Because I'm pretty sure you heard something
No.
about Amazon.
Yeah, there was also something. There
Uh-huh.
was also something with the Amazon that. Oh man, now I gotta like see if I can remember because your last president was like cutting down on sorry, like pun intended, folks, but your last president was like cutting down on the rainforest, like trying like to avoid like taking so much of the rainforest and preserve it. But your president now is like, screw all that. We're going to cut as much down as the rainforest as we want because it's money in those trees. That was the second
Yeah.
thing I heard. And then I'm fairly certain there was something with a robbery and criminals and so on in the Amazon River, escaping in the Amazon River, and he was somehow like suspected to have a connection to this regarding how organized they were with getting away.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
And none of these things would surprise me if it were true, considering his blatant ignorance in the Corona crisis.
Yes. In this case of Amazon, it's true. Because it wasn't, he didn't make any law or any official document say destroying the Amazon jungle, but his speech makes the people who lives there destroy
Yeah.
to make money. You see, but it wasn't like legal. He didn't make any legal document, because if he make such a legal document, the whole world will stop to sell things and buy things from us. That's the point. So
Yeah,
it's true.
but by doing this, then he's like also just making the situation worse, because now any country that is investing in a green Brazil and
But
rainforest preservation funds and stuff will now pull out of Brazil, and that will also mean like even less money coming from continental international countries into Brazil.
yes, but he won the election. That's why I said it changed last election, right? It was always a left guy with his saying, let's tax everyone because this money will come back to them one day, who knows when, but never come back to us. And he was elected because this last president, not her exactly, but she was only elected because of the previous president, which is from the same party as her, the Labour Party of Brazil, and he is involved in such a corruption that it's true. If you search, you will find it's the most biggest corruption in the whole world. It was like 50 billions of no, not 50 billions of reais. So maybe in dollars would be, I don't know, 2 billions of dollars.
That's crazy.
He was. It's stolen by how? Because we have this public company of Petrobras, call it Petrobras. Sorry, motorbike here making noise,
Yeah.
and this is a public company. So he indicates the president, who is the leader of the company. So you see, this kind of socialist thinking. Social democracy, I think, maybe, I don't know, maybe social democracy has the same thinking that, have public companies, blah, 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 but only who leads those companies is people indicated from politicians. So if you indicate me, I want a share of the part of the company. That's it. And people hated this because it was national known, this scandal. So people voted on him because people didn't want to vote on the other party. You see, on the other party.
Yeah.
That's why he was elected. It was like not because people wanted him, but because he was the opposite, like, of the other president.
So that he was the best option for
Yes.
so like in other words, they were both shit options, but he was the less shit option.
Yes, and that, that's it. And he had one speech that I liked, that speech, but this will and this connected with the previous thing that I was talking to you. The most thing that I hate in this country is this lenient, and he was not lenient with people who kill others just for fun, because here is like this, man. You are with your cell phone in the street, someone try to rob you, they take your phone and they kill you just for fun. Because they know there is no laws for him, That's the point. He will, okay, and now I will say something, maybe you will disagree, but this is because I have lived here since always, so I'm done with those things. But what I see, man, happen, not just here, maybe, not just here in Brazil. Okay, it happens there as well, in Denmark, for sure, this thing that I will say. in Norway, mainly there, because, sorry, this shit was imported from there, a country that has no problems at all with such a violence. It's that kind of how can I say, re-socialize a guy, right? Re-socialize someone. This
Yeah.
point, okay? This kind of because here it was always example. Look to Sweden, look to Norway. Their prisons they re-socialize the criminals and everything. So what happens here? This re-socialized thing don't work because the guy who kill you just to rob your cell phone, he's not like just a criminal, like someone who goes to rob the bank, and this guy is such a criminal. This guy who kill you just for fun to rob your bicycle, to rob your cell phone, useless thing.
Yeah.
Man, in my point of view, if you kill a person to steal a cell phone, man, you can't, you don't deserve to be rest yourself. This word, you understood this
Yeah.
word there. Rest yourself. In my point of view, it's different. There is
Okay,
such a
okay, okay. So you're saying that this person that kills for a cell phone does not deserve a chance to redeem himself and just get a short prison sentence and out on the streets again.
in my point of view,
Yeah.
no. In this point, no. If you kill, I'm not calling about killing. I'm not saying about all the kills, because you may kill someone
Yeah.
self defense.
But
But I'm saying,
you're saying it in regarding people who does it, like for no reason, for no motivated reason, other than like, nah, because I just felt like it. Uh, yeah, I can see your point there, but
it's my
I
I
have
I
to
see I see I see.
I have to say though, like it's a different kind of violence in Brazil
Yes.
than it is in Western Europe for sure.
For sure, man. That's the point. That's the point that I hate, because we imported this thing from Europe,
Yeah.
thinking that a person who kills someone for fun, man, the same guy, he was in jail for more than 10 times. He killed more than 20 people. And the law is like this. You go to the jail, you can't stay more than 30 years, and if you don't do shit in the jail, you live with 5 years.
Yeah.
If you are a good guy, let's say I clean the prison, blah blah blah, you can live. And the man, in this, right after you leave the prison, those people they kill again.
But I would also, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would also assume that like Brazil is probably a corrupt country. So if organized crime organization like what you said, like PCC, would come and like say, yeah, one of our guys is in jail for having killed like 25 people.
They,
Yeah,
perfect.
and then like and then go to the correct guy with like a bag of cash and say, you let this guy out tomorrow from prison.
Yes.
Then that would probably be a realistic scenario, right?
Yes, and even worse than that, the prisons they are like colleges for the guys, because let's say I'm a gangster, a new gangster. I have 15 years old. No, 15. No, 15. No, it's too much. I have I don't know, 18 years old. I'm new gangster. I killed someone. I go to the prison. If I go to the prison and say, "Oh, I killed someone just to steal their cell phone," so the prison, the bandits there, the PCC, which commands the prison, they say, "Oh, you are a very good student. Come here. Let's go to the class." And then in the prison, you have class to become even a worse criminal. So when you left the prison, it's even worse, than when you come, than when you came.
Have you ever like thought about like what makes them do this? Like what makes an 18-year-old dude go out and kill and join a gang?
and I will say, okay, this is a very common topic in Brazil,
Yeah.
discussion, a lot of it. And it always people from left view debating with people from left view, of left view, always. Only left view was debating about this. And they always agree. They say, oh, it's poverty. The guy is poor, and that's why he wants so much that cell phone that he kills the person for the cell phone. And this is, oh, look, this is the argument of the politicians here, the left politicians here. But this is so wrong because the people who lives in the poverty, majority, 90% don't kill nobody.
No.
They are starving, but they have a personality. They know that it's wrong kill someone. It's on you, man. It's on you. It's not because poverty lead me to kill, man. If you want to say,
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I was going to say that it is probably not so much that it is more like doing it, killing somebody and joining a gang is an easy way out. It's an easy way
yes,
out to get like fast money and a higher
for sure.
quality of living, even though
Yes,
you'll probably end up with a bullet and killed by the time you're 25. But still, it's a fast
still,
life.
yeah, live, yeah, die young, and
Yeah,
you will be always young.
yeah.
It's like this, yeah, man. Yeah, it's true.
Die rich and young.
Yes, and you will be rich and young forever. This is their view. This is true. That's why there are so many killing in Brazil. Like more than Syria per year. In Syria is on war with Sukhois from Russia dropping bombs and a lot of things. Even with that, dies less people there than in Brazil
Yeah.
by violence. So what I'm trying to say is it's not poverty which leads you to kill someone. It's because you are a bad person, and you know that the country has no law, and you know that if you kill and if you are catched by the police, there will be such a huge system to protect you, legal system. Say, oh, he's a victim of society. I I'm tired of heard that because
He's a victim of society.
yes, this is what our last president said.
Yeah.
A guy who kills someone is a victim of society because he was oppressed by society because he saw the guy with a Nike on his feet and he said, "Oh, I don't have a Nike. This is so unfair. I will kill him."
No. Oh,
You
shit.
understand what I hate the
That,
most in this?
makes zero sense. I mean, shit. Even if you were poor or I was poor and I saw a guy with some Nike Air Jordans on, I would be like, oh, I want those Air Jordans on my shoe, on my feet.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah. Oh, look, this what I'm trying to say. Capital sentence, a capital sentence will not end this problem for sure. Will not. Plus, our system is very slow, very dumb. It can make a lot of mistake and send innocent people to death. I am pretty sure. But man, I think as in Japan, as last year in Japan, they killed 20 people with the I don't even don't know how I don't have English to explain. When you put the rope on your neck and hanging you,
Yeah.
you see fucking Japan killed 20 people like this. And you can say, Japan needs that? No, this is too much. No, like, why they are doing this? But this is a kind of symbolic thing for
Yeah.
people know what can happen to them.
You know,
You know what?
like Japan is a little cruel this way because if you are on death row in Japan, you don't get to know the date or time of your execution. So
For being honest, man,
so
being honest.
so yeah, so prisoner guards can like come into your cell in the middle of the
But
damn night and be like, yeah, this is the time for you to get executed.
what kind of crime he committed to be hanging like that? I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
No,
He steal a drugstore
no,
with
no,
no.
no.
It was crime.
Would assume that it would have to be something serious, like triple homicide or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, and I am so agreed with, with Japan. I don't give a fuck. You don't know the time that you die. You just know you will die, and that's it.
Yeah.
I am totally agree with them. But what disconnected what I was saying, what I hate the most in Brazil, and not just in Brazil, but it seems it is a Western. Western. I think it's Western. The
Yeah.
word, right?
Western.
Occidental. This part where we live of the planet, we are too. Let me try to find a word, a simple word, sensible. No, we are too.
You're too.
Many people in Europe, man, who lives in a bubble. Because a life in Denmark, in Germany, man, it's not like it's a bubble. It's not the what happens around the world. The reality of the world, majority of the world, is totally different from this. You know, like everyone's peaceful. Everyone
Oh
knows
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. No, like yeah, I thought about that like many times.
You know,
That of course, like there is 700 million people living in Europe, right? But there is 10 times there's 10 times that amount on the entire planet, right? And most people do live in poverty. That's true.
No, is the best place to live. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. It should be good if it would be like this everywhere.
Yeah.
If it were like this everywhere, would be good. But the reality is, it is not. And we that live here in a fucked place, we can't look to Europe and import their system.
But
Think that we work here. You understand, right?
like forgive me if I'm wrong, but is every country in South America as bad as Brazil?
Yes, the whole South America has the same level, but Chile is a little different. Chile is a little higher than us. Almost a developed country, Chile.
Okay,
Their
I didn't
numbers.
realize like I thought it would have been Argentina.
No, man, you know what is happening in Argentina now? They are so fucked up. So because they elected a very radical left politician. So their economy is broken. Everything's going down. The industry there is moving to Brazil. Ford, Volkswagen, every factory there is leaving Argentina and moving to Brazil because they have this kind of government now which destroy the economy, which treats people who makes money as enemy of the people. If you have a factory, you are the enemy of people. You aren't a good person. No?
Why you have a factory and you're creating jobs?
Yeah, I mean, say that to those radical left people of South America, which hates everyone who who are well succeeded, hates everyone, and thinks that everyone needs to be poor at the same level. Only, only the politicians, right? And the friends of politicians who lives in a very good life, like.
Yeah.
This is what happens, and this makes me very angry with this country. Is this view of saying,
So
oh,
like we're coming
okay,
up like on an hour, so we soon gotta like close up. But
all
I
right.
want to ask you like some final questions. If you could like leave tomorrow and start over like in any country you wanted, which country would you move to?
Oh, but I'm free to go to anywhere.
Yeah, if you were free to go anywhere, like where would it be?
Greenland,
Greenland.
for sure.
Holy shit, man.
Greenland or Iceland.
Oh man, but that's cold. That's cold as hell.
Yeah, I know that's cold, but I would move there. But I want to go very much to Siberia, but Siberia is part of Russia.
Yeah.
So no, if Siberia was independent, I would go to Siberia.
Wow. Damn, man, I didn't expect that.
No, I'm pretty sure it's peaceful. There's not much. Oh, look, people is equal to problem, so it's very good to live in a place with not so many people. It's much easier to administrate and to make things work than live in a country with 200 million as Brazil.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Man, there's that many people, 200 million people.
Yes.
Holy shit.
And China 1 billion.
That's like almost as big as America.
Yes. Only America is. I think only America has been well succeeded in this system with so many people. Because I think it's sad to say this, but I think as much as people the country has, it's, in my view, as my experience living in Brazil, I think it's hard to let people free. It's sad to say that, but it seems it's hard. When you live in a small place, it's easier to let people free. You know, that's why China is going good right now. Has developed a lot, but because authoritarianism is different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So-
like it.
so-
Yeah, because of that system
It's-
there in China.
It's sad to say this. That's why I say USA is the only one who could achieve such a. Okay, USA is not the best country in the world, but it's well succeeded for sure, and with the system, with so many people.
Yeah.
So, you know, no country will achieve that.
Well, I agree
I
with
think-
that, that like if you were coming from Brazil or El Salvador or something, and moving to America, then your life would probably still be better, even if you
For sure.
even if you were living in poverty in America.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Okay, man. I want to thank you for coming on today. That was all we had time for, and we're coming up on the hour. I think I'll do another one of these soon, man.
All right, man. You just call me and we'll be here.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad to talk.
It was good.
Okay. It was good. Very good.
It was good. All right, folks.
So-
And remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment here for Xavier. Thanks.
Thanks.